Taurus, you guys gave me the most views, so therefore I'm gonna do a part two for you guys to see what's like happening with you guys. All right, so let's talk. And yes, I am in my robe. Okay, upside down the full. All right, the full right side up means that like new adventure, new happiness, new everything's great. But how can that be the case after what you just went through, right? Because you have to learn how to let things be new again after the loss that you just endured. Remember? We talked about that loss. And like right now, you're feeling left out in the cold. But please understand, feeling left out in the cold is a choice. It is not a major arcana card, baby. It is not one of those things that you have to feel. Like, you can honestly go watch a movie and like try to get over this ASAP. Like, you don't have to sit and dwell over this. I know things hurt and I know things feel unfair and people do things that are unfair all the freaking time. But I'm telling you, feeling left out in the cold is your choice. I didn't feel like doing that one upside down because I didn't feel like it was necessary to be upside down. As a matter of fact, this is the only one that does feel appropriate to be upside down because I feel like you guys are having a hard time moving on. And like some of you are feeling like you're daydreaming that things are going to get better. Well, it's because of the remnants of the love that you still have left for this person or this situation or this loss. Okay? Those are not gunshots, I don't think. This is just the way you feel, and you're allowing yourself to feel this way. You know what I'm saying? When really and truly you need to understand that you are a nurturer and that like you got it going on, but that's not what you're telling yourself right now. So until you can get to a place where you can like really understand your value, I recommend you get like some therapy, dude. I've had so much therapy in my life, you would not believe. Can I honestly say it helped me? No, not really. But for some people it does, you know? And then like you got the Queen of Cups. So you got the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. And so that tells me that you've got some people to love. And you've got some people who are willing to help you. And you've got money to manage. And you've got like things to rectify. And you have like you know, some growing up to do when it comes to like making money and allowing yourself to feel like, you know, you're worth more than what you're telling yourself right now. Like, you've got bigger fish to fry than to sit here and dwell over this past situation that you just went through. I mean, losses suck, but I am telling you, I have experienced so many losses to the point now where I have learned big time that most of the losses that I endured at the time, now that I look back, I'm like, that was like a complete blessing straight from God himself. Seriously. Like, so you feel like you have a loss, but I'm telling you, you don't. This is contributing to you becoming a new person where you don't ever feel left out in the cold, where you get to start to feel those feelings. Like this card actually in this context does represent nostalgia, where you do get to remember what real love feels like, what real love is like, you know, what real friendship is like. Like, you're gonna start to actually see some real genuine people come your way. And yes, you will likely be skeptical, but you know, that judgment and that card, it's a major arcana. It's basically telling you, I mean, you're going to be released of a lot of bondage that you were in, you know? And you did. You walked away from what you needed to walk away from, and it hurt. And that's the loss that we were referring to. But I'm telling you, the universe is like clapping and like telling you good job. Believe me. Because what you lost truly was a gain. It was like you were trying to hold on to something that was like so not good for you. And like the King of Cups. Come on now. The King of Cups. I mean, he's even tempered. You know, he's got his shit together. You know, those cups represent emotion. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the King of Cups. So it's like, and I feel like this is you. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're hurt behind the loss that you just experienced, right? I still feel like you're like the King of Cups. I mean, because you knew what to do with those cups. You walked away from them because they weren't good for you. And the King of Cups knows when to walk away and when to like continue to invest in them. So that's what lets me know you guys are the King of Cups right now. So like be happy about that. And then when it comes to like the Page of Wands, the Page of anything is like a beginner. He's a beginner. He's a beginner when it comes to certain actions, right? A page is a messenger. And now you are on a new journey because you ended a journey. And so this is a representation of the new journey that you are on. Yes, you only have one wand in your hand right now, but it won't take long before you have more wands in your hand and more experience. You know? Same thing with your logic. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're still learning how to be the person that you want to be. And you need to give yourself permission to do that. Otherwise, you're just going to sit there and beat yourself up for like every mistake that you've ever made or every loss that you've ever experienced. And like that can't be healthy. So then here comes the Ace of Swords. Marvelous. Okay, swords represent thought. Okay, and aces represent like new beginning, yay. You know, it's all good. Like, I feel like you guys are going to use your logic to overcome like the heartache. You know what I'm saying? And don't let anything get in the way of that. Because you still have a lot to learn when it comes to, you know, logic and, you know, making choices that are not so impulsive. You know, the kind that would actually have to make you stay in a situation like this long to actually have to walk away from 8 cups. That means you walked away from something that you loved for a long time. But now, I mean, you're learning. And so, like, the Empress and the Ace of Swords together, you could easily say that, like, the Ace of anything plus the Empress could easily mean that, like, ladies, you might want to look out for a pregnancy. But it's usually the Ace of Wands or the Ace of Cups mixed with the Empress. But when I see the Ace of Swords and the Empress together, that tells me that you guys came up with a new idea on how to move forward. And like that makes me feel really good. Because right now, with this loss, you guys are just dealing with it the way that you know how. And that's cool. And, you know, the Lover's card is not just about like a man and a woman having, you know, an intimate relationship. The Lover's card is about loving relationships between friends, between people who care about you. No, seriously, they're doing fireworks. So, like, now is a really good time to lean on people who really care about you and who really love you while you're going through what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? I know how easy it is to feel like nobody cares about what you're going through, but, like, given that this card came up, it tells me that some of you do have some people that really do care about you and who will help you come up with some ideas as to, like, how to move forward and how to, like, get past, like, the hurt associated with this recent loss. This needs to be you. You need to be the Knight of Swords. Like, you need to actively figure out how you're going to stop dwelling in this place. Because some of you are dwelling in this place when the opportunities for you to, like, flourish in so many other areas are there, but you won't see them if you continue to focus on this 8 of Cups energy. And like daydreaming and hoping that everything's just gonna fall back together. No, because you know what? You have too many like pages that came up, and that means that you have like too much work on you to do right now. You have too much work on you to do right now, you know? And then, like, you've also been graced with, being the Knight of Swords. So you're like the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords. So you've been given the opportunity by the universe. Like, the universe is saying, like, go at whatever speed you want to go at. Like, hey, do you want to be a knight or do you want to be a page? Like, a page is a beginner, but the knight knows a little bit more and is a little bit more, well versed when it comes to logic. And then you pulled the logic card. So it's like you have all this logic, but like, are you using it? Are you using it, Taurus? Because if you're not using it, what happens is, like, people sneak in the back door, right? And then you think that, like, they're cool until you have to kick their ass out the front door and, like, bolt the back door so that they can't come back in, if you know what I'm saying. You have some people who do love you and who want to support you through what you're going through. So I would let them. I mean, because I feel like the way that you guys were hurt recently, trust is probably not your biggest... it's probably not like your biggest thing that you want to invest in, but you did get a major arcana, the Sun, and that means that you just went through a necessary experience that was going to happen regardless. And I honestly feel like some of you got through it with flying colors. Why do I feel that way? Because you got the Page of Wands. Now, had you gotten like the King of Wands or the Queen of Wands, I would say that I think that your temper, like, seriously got the best of you. But it didn't. It didn't. It's like you got rewarded for your behavior toward the situation. And, like, you dealt with the situation with love. Like, you continued to love yourself. You continued to manage and nurture your kids and what you deem valuable. I mean, you went back to memory lane and you realized what love really is, and you got away from what love really isn't. And then, like, you got the opportunity to get out of that box. You know what I mean? Like, and like judgment popped up. Like, it's like, like, I feel like for a while you guys felt like you were being judged for, like, being in the situation that you were in, or like, why did this happen to me? It's an experience, guys. You guys have to understand that, like, life is not always gonna be, I mean, we work so hard for life to be wonderful at all times, and we find ourselves feeling left out in the cold, and we do find ourselves feeling like totally dead behind what somebody did to us. But you pulled the Queen of Cups, and cups represents emotion and even temper. And I feel like you guys dealt with this beautifully, which means that the universe got the rest, baby. Like, and the Fool upside down tells me that you guys are, like, kind of like just slowing down. You guys don't want to jump into anything yet. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a smart decision. I think if you're going to jump into anything, I think you should jump into yourself. Jump into you. Jump into you and jump into yourself. Ask yourself, like, while you sit here and mourn this loss, like, right? Focus on what you still have. Focus on what you still have. I mean, you would be so surprised at how many people have nothing. You still have plenty. I promise you do. You still have plenty. So, like, mourn, but don't over mourn. Because, life is about ups and downs. And don't ever be afraid to, like, start over. Like, because the Fool right side up means starting over. And, like, if I fall, I'll get back up. But right now, some of you Taurus are feeling like, you know what? I'm not going to make a move right now because I don't want to feel like this ever again. Now, when you do that, do you realize that you are juggling now? You were juggling something old that you knew had to go. And then now, like, you're trying to juggle a new life. Like a new start. Are you sure that you want to do that? Or do you want to just go ahead and let one of those pentacles that pretended to be a pentacle down so you can focus on the pentacle that really is a pentacle? Yeah, they're doing fireworks. I'm sorry. I mean, because I think that's what's stopping you from moving forward. Trust me, I'm not downplaying the hurt. I'm not downplaying, like, how bad the hurt was, because I saw the loss. Because it's a general reading, I don't know the extent of the loss, and I don't know, what type of loss it was, but I can clearly see that it was a loss. I mean, you pulled the 8 of Cups and you pulled the 5 of Cups. You need to look that up. I can tell you straight up, you've dealt with the loss. But you don't need to, like, juggle a loss and, like, moving on in life. You don't need to juggle that. You need to, like, let that go. Let that go. I mean, thank God for unanswered prayers. Because what you thought was going to be like the bomb, it wasn't going to be. And it ended. It ended for your benefit. And now the divine is just going to, like, wait and see. Like, are you going to stay here? Like, are you going to stay here? Because, honey, you ain't shackled up with him at all. Like, he ain't got you. Like, you are choosing to be here. As soon as you say, like, yo, I don't want to play your game anymore, he has no choice but to let you go. He only likes to play with the people who like to play with fire and who like to be in, like, messy situations. So, like, if you find yourself or found yourself in a relationship with somebody that, like, you knew had, like, some bad habits or, like, whatever, they had too much control over the way you felt about yourself too, probably. I mean, as soon as you decide that that's not what's allowed for you anymore, I mean, the shackles are coming off, like, immediately. And then, like, you're going to learn. This is the learning card. You're going to learn that, yeah, I had a little tussle in my life. I had a little situation in my life. And, I didn't know how to fight it. I did not know how to fight it with my logic in this particular instance because it was a new experience. And, like, especially when it comes to love, Taurus, I mean, there's no book. But I'm telling you, here's what you're being urged. Use your logic. You're pulling nothing but kings and queens and, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, all of these prominent people. And then, like, you're pulling, like, these major arcanas that are, like, trying to tell you, like, where you are in life and, like, what your potential is. You understand what I'm saying? Like, let me help you understand this so that, like, we can, like, so you can really understand, like, this, like, what's happening here. Okay. All of this right here, like, this is your potential. This is temporary. Let me show you what's temporary, and let me show you, like, what your potential is, okay? Daydreaming that things are going to be better, that's temporary. You're not going to be doing this forever, okay? You're not. You're going to get over it one day. You're going to realize, I don't need to daydream about this situation anymore because, like, I already know that it's, like, useless and it's worthless. And I played this game before and I'm not going to do it again. That's temporary. And sometimes it's, like, necessary sometimes. You just, like, sometimes it is necessary because sometimes you feel like, if I daydream that things are going to be better or things could get better, I'll feel better for the moment. Well, if that's what you need to do for the moment, then do it. But understand, this is temporary. This is not permanent. So, like, why even indulge in this? And then, like, when you go back to nostalgia and you go back and you remember what real love is, this is going to assist you in moving on. But this is also temporary. This is also temporary. Juggling. Like, feeling bad about the situation and, like, hoping that one of those pentacles was like really real, but it wasn't. And then like you juggled something that you thought was like worth your time. And then like you have other things that other priorities that you have, and you were like juggling both, and then realized you were like wasting your time on one situation. That's also temporary. Drop one of the pentacles. As simple as that. And just focus on the one that you know is a pentacle that is worth your time. And simple as that. Like, you ain't gotta juggle nothing. Like, these are your choices you're making. And then like, if you want to get some therapy, because like maybe some of you Taurus are like picking like the wrong partners, then do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, who doesn't have daddy issues? Who doesn't have mommy issues? Like, which one, like, how many of us didn't have like some type of a narcissist in our family that like taught us that we weren't worth what we really are worth, and then like we start like dipping and dabbling with people who ain't worth a shit, and then like we have to learn the hard way like how to free ourselves from shitty situations. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you can get therapy if you feel like it would help you. I feel like that's the only reason why this card came up. I mean, but I think that the therapy would come from like the Lover's card came up. I think the therapy would come from like, the people in your life who like really love you and who really care about you and who really want to support you through like the heartache of what you just endured. And I know this is a long reading, but I just like want to help you guys understand like where you are. Like, you're dealing with a lot of temporary feelings, and they're real, you know what I'm saying? But this is a major arcana. This is a major arcana. That means that like you do have people in your life that care about you and who do love you and who want to give you good advice when it comes to loving relationships. You do have some people in your life who really do love you. It's a major arcana. So I assure you, you do have some people that you can trust. But at this point, I don't really feel like, trust is like your strong suit right now, because I think the type of loss that you just recently endured was like one of, you trusted the individual, that you chose to love, and they like turned around and totally burned you. But like, you walked away, and that's also temporary. It's like a part of your journey in life that's temporary. You're going to move on. You're going to find somebody else, and you're going to move on. And everything that you have learned in this relationship will apply to the next. You will be setting boundaries next time, because you know what you don't want anymore, and you're not going to put up with it. This is a major arcana. Like, you're at a point in your life where you're going to change, period. Like, whether you like it or not. This is part of the reason why you went through what you went through. Like, it was necessary so that you can grow just that much more. Like, so that you could become that much more new. And like, see things from a new perspective. You understand what I'm saying? And the warmth of the sun will keep you out of the cold. Okay? And that's a major arcana. Feeling left out in the cold, that's temporary, baby. This is a minor arcana. This is temporary, and this is a choice. You don't have to feel left out in the cold if you don't want to. You don't have to feel like all is lost if you don't want to. You don't have to feel these feelings if you don't want to. Now, this is a major arcana, judgment. Like, it's time for you to come out of these boxes that you keep putting yourself in, or that you did put yourself in this particular situation that, came with this loss. I mean, it's like redemption. Like, you're being redeemed, and it was going to happen because there was a lesson that needed to be learned. And I hope that you guys are starting to think about, what are these lessons, that were meant for me to learn from this loss. And then this is also temporary, you're being publicly exalted for the way that you handled the situation. I mean, you didn't act all out of pocket and like act all kinds of like burnt out and crazy and stuff. I mean, it hurt you, but you were like, oh, okay, cool. You gonna do it like that? All right, then. Yeah. I mean, I just kind of feel like you just was like, all right, then. You want to do it like that? Yeah, that hurt. But you know what? It ain't my first time being hurt. Probably won't be my last. I'm just going to get better at it. You know what I'm saying? And then you got all these court cards. But I want to go over what's temporary. Okay? You are temporary learning, how to use your logic to outthink situations that can easily just suck. Do not give like everything. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I don't care how fine he is. I don't care how fine she is. I really don't. Like, they have to like prove themselves to some way, shape, or form. And if they haven't done that, they're likely just talking like a good one. That's temporary too. Like, however long it takes for you to learn what you needed to learn in this situation, that's up to you too. This is also a minor arcana. However long you choose to be in pain behind this situation is up to you as well. I don't know how long you spent with whatever partner. I don't know how long you spent at this particular job or whatever it was. I don't know how long you let a situation have more control over you than should have. This was a part of your journey. This is a major arcana, okay? And it's to teach you a lesson. And no matter how scary this stuff looks, dude, I'm telling you, he ain't got you imprisoned. Like, he can't. You're the boss of you. He ain't the boss of you. As soon as you know your worth and you actually sit down and think about how much you're worth, you can like get out of those shackles immediately. He doesn't like strong people. He likes weak people that he can like play mental games with. Now the Fool upside down tells me that you are like kind of taking a step back, and like this is as close to the Hermit as like, I mean, I saw another card today when I did a reading for Libra, like, I think it was Libra, where it's like, this is as close to the Hermit, as, I can imagine. Or this card could mean, just poor decision making. It really could. It just could mean that you like picked the wrong person for your circle. But again, I mean, if you don't look at every experience that you incur in life as an experience, as a learning experience, I'm telling you, you're just opening up the door for misery. And that's not what I want for you. I want you guys to understand everything is a learning experience. Look at all of your qualities. Okay, you have like the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups. You know what I'm saying? The King of Swords. The King of Cups. I mean, and hold on, let me see what other kings or queens do you have. Okay, that's an important one too. Okay. So like, I'm seeing that like, okay, here's something interesting. You have the Page of Swords and then you have the King of Swords. Like, this tells me it's your choice. Do you want to be like a child when it comes to the way that you like make logical choices? Or do you want to be like the king when it comes to making logical choices? Like, these are your choices. This is your potential. Like, you know what I'm saying? What expectations are you going to have next time and future situations similar to this one? Like, are you going to act like the Page? The Page is the kid. The King is like the man. I'm pretty sure some of you have been there and done that like enough times to like not have to repeat this loss that was like that hurt so bad. Like, I can feel the hurt, right? And then, like, when it comes to cups, look, you pulled the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. I mean, that tells me that you, like, a lot of you, Taurus, know how to use your heart in a way to where it's like, I honestly feel like the hurt came because it was like you love so hard, and then when you give somebody some love and then they turn around and like do some fuck shit, it like, it hurts to the core. But you have to understand that that behavior from them has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. This is your potential. The Queen and King of Cups. This is your potential. Being even tempered. And knowing how to love yourself and knowing how to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, slow your roll when you get like pissed off. Like, you don't have to pull out the wands and like the fire and like get busy. Like, you can, like, I love myself too much to let you like control my behavior kind of thing. Like, you're just being reminded of your potential, you know, with this loss that you recently experienced. And so, like, now you're being urged by spirit guides and angels. Like, okay, you know, look at this. Like, you got the Page of Pentacles and then you got the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, that tells you, like, in July, some things of value are going to come your way. And, like, the Queen of Pentacles, I mean, I'm just feeling like, for those of you who have children, don't let them get, like, caught in the crossfire of, like, your pain. Because you still have to nurture them. Because they're valuable to you. Now, yes, you have to take care of yourself, too. And that might be the Page of Pentacles part of this, like, Queen of Pentacles type thing. Like, you know, you may not know how to deal with this pain, you know, but you have to think about the valuable things that you still have, which is plenty. I mean, there's so many temporary things, temporary feelings that you're allowing yourself to feel that you don't have to. And, like, when it came to the Page of Wands, like, I get the feeling that you, like, a part of you really wanted to go ham and, like, you stopped yourself. And, like, I'm so proud of you for that. And it's like, you're being rewarded, you know, for your behavior by the universe. Like, you know, because the Empress means giving birth to new ideas and new ways of being. And it's very important that you understand that you create your own reality anytime you want. So, like, if you just decide right now, this second, like, try it. I'm not going to be sad anymore because, like, I'm going to move on from this loss. And I'm going to talk to my spirit guides and angels and my